Man, if you really want to follow Christ, expect this. Expect the rejection, man. Expect being ridiculed. Expect being misunderstood. And most importantly, man, expect for many people to try to silence you. If you really want to follow Jesus Christ of the Bible, I'm not talking about this American Christianity stuff, where you get to still participate in these worldly affairs. You don't have to deny yourself. You don't have to take up your cross and follow Jesus. But really, you just get to have your cake and your ice cream too. But if you really want to follow Jesus with your whole heart, man, expect to get ridiculed. Expect to be rejected. Expect to be put out of the synagogue. Like John 16 said. He said, for a time will come where they will put you out of the synagogue, thinking that they are doing the will of the Father, thinking that they are pleasing the Father. But he said, when this happened, for those of you who are ministering biblical sound doctrine, he said, when this happened, just know they do not know me nor my Father. If you are expecting to follow the true Jesus Christ with no pushback, with no resentment, not only from the world, but from the religious system that also says they follow Jesus Christ. If you are expecting no pushback and everybody to get along with you, everybody just happy because you're following Jesus Christ, man, you got another thing coming. I'm seeing a lot of people fall out of the faith because what Jesus warned about, which was going to happen to them in John 15:20, due to the persecution, many people are abandoning the faith. And this ain't even the major persecution of what the disciples had to go through in the book of Acts. I'm seeing many people abandon faith due to minor persecutions of just being rejected, being ridiculed, being pushed aside, being not like. I'm saying many people fall out of the faith with following the biblical Jesus. I'm talking about the biblical Messiah. I'm talking about the biblical Jesus said, if any man come after me, Matthew 10, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. I'm talking about the biblical Jesus. I'm finding that many people don't want that Jesus because it comes with a cost. And if this is you, man, you got to stay strong, man. If this is you, you got to stay in God's face so he can strengthen you to become bold as a lion so you be able to stand in these last evil days. If you follow the biblical Christ, you're going to get persecuted. If you follow the biblical Christ, you're going to be rejected. And I know this message is not for everybody because only a remnant is going to be saved. Many people can care less about the biblical Christ. Many people can care less about Jesus Christ of the Bible, but they love this Jesus Christ of American Christianity. And I just want to warn you and encourage you, man, if you are following the biblical Christ, man, you're going to get persecuted. You're going to be rejected. You're going to be ridiculed. If you're trying to walk in this straight and narrow path, you're going to get persecuted. You're going to get rejected. You're going to be ridiculed. If you're trying to walk in holiness, especially in these last days, you're going to be rejected. You're going to be ridiculed. And you're going to be pushed aside. If you pushing and listening and promoting sound doctrine, you're going to be ridiculed. You're going to be rejected. And you're going to be pushed aside, ladies and gentlemen. Luke 6:40, Luke 6:40, the subtitle scripture for this channel. is a disciple is not above his teacher. Y'all see the sweater? But after he is perfectly trained, he shall become like his teacher. If you want to become a full-time disciple, full-hearted follower of Jesus Christ, you're going to be ridiculed. You're going to be rejected. You're going to be pushed aside. This is how you know that you are following the biblical Christ. This is how you know you are following the true Messiah. Because you're going to be ridiculed. You're going to be rejected. And you're going to be pushed aside. Jesus said in Matthew, I think it is 23 at the end of that chapter. He said, woe to those who speak well of you, for so they did the false prophets of old. Notice what he said. Man, if everybody like you and love you, which nothing ain't wrong with that. But if you ain't getting no pushback in your walk with Christ, if you ain't getting no, everywhere you go, you just accept it. Man, you got to look in the mirror and really ask yourself, am I following the biblical Christ? Because there's no other way around it. If you follow the biblical Christ, just like they persecuted Jesus, they gonna persecute them followers, man. There ain't no other way around it. This just an encouraging word to the remnant, because only a remnant is following the biblical Christ. I ain't gonna prolong this video, man. I just got this burning in my heart because this is what I see. A lot of people really don't want to follow Christ because due to the persecution. And it ain't even on a high level. But the thing about it is, many people just really want to be accepted. Many people want to be accepted. And that's why many people will be shut out of the kingdom. Because many people want to be accepted more than being in the will of God. We're taking church to the streets because that's what Jesus and his disciples used to be. If you have not subscribed, the goal of this channel is not to make church goers, but we making disciples. I'm out.